Good morning, Big Ten fans. Welcome back to another edition of the Big Ten Morning Minutes. Happy Friday, March 22nd, 2019. I'm your host, Michael Chen. Give me a follow on the Twitter machines, MFC2123. And yesterday, what a banner day for the Big Ten. 5 games, 5 W's. Very, very impressive. Like I talked about earlier and previously, I typically don't like to go over the scores of games, etc., but the NCAA tournament is going to be a big exception for me on this. That's what was going on yesterday, and that's what you need to know about. So we'll get started with the team that I thought looked most impressive yesterday, and that was the Michigan Wolverines. Boy, did they look really good. They look national championship caliber. John Beilein has his team humming. The return of Charles Matthews to full strength. He wasn't quite there during his return in the Big Ten tournament, but wow. I mean, his impact cannot be understated. A double-double, 22 points and 10 rebounds. They went early to John Teske. He established the inside game, which opens up everything for their outside shooters. And, John Beilein, I think he's nationally, I think he's very, very underrated. Very much so. So the Wolverines look like the best team in the conference, in the deepest conference in the country, and they will advance to the next round. And then the other 2 seed going up yesterday was the Spartans. Big-time struggle bus there. Tom Izzo and company didn't fare so well in the first half, down by a point at halftime to Bradley. They made some adjustments at halftime, outscored them by 12 in the second half, ended up winning 76-65. But I wasn't very impressed with them. During the middle of the game, I tweeted out, I think Michigan State most likely will win this game, but at the current moment, they don't look national championship caliber team. They did not. For a 2 seed to only beat a 15 seed by 11 points, the margin should be closer to 20, and that's kind of what Michigan did. They had them by 19. It's just I'm not quite sure what was going on. Obviously, Tom Izzo had a very public blow up against one of his players, and Aaron Henry. Henry, after the game, said it wasn't an issue. What I had an issue with, however, was the statement of inmates. The inmates can't run the asylum. I hate it. Tom Izzo said it in his press conference. I'm not a fan of that statement. I just don't think it's very, very appropriate at all. And so, Michigan State, I can't see them making a deep run. I thought they would. I thought they had a chance. I thought that Michigan and Michigan State were the best 2 teams in the Big Ten. I think that still is the case, but I'm not sure if this tournament favors the way that the Spartans go about their business. And then the third team that potentially has a shot of going a little bit deeper into the tournament is the Boilermakers of Purdue. They're not fun to watch. They're not necessarily going to put up the most points and the cleanest game, but Matt Painter and his company, damn, do they know how to win. And when they do, really good first half for the Boilermakers. Carson Edwards was hitting deep 3 after deep 3. Very, very good player is Edwards. And, he does have a little back ailment, and I know about this, and he's known about it for the past. I mean, you'd figure he knows, right? I mean, he has to know. He has been playing through it for the past few weeks, and he looked great. 26 points, 7 boards, 4 assists. You can't ask for anything more out of that from your point guard. And again, point guards dominate the NCAA tournament, so I could see, Purdue making a run. That's why I liked Michigan State and Cassius Winston, but I think Winston struggled a little bit in the game. Maybe it was, first round jitters. Who knows? They shouldn't have that at this point in time, though. They've been there. They've done that. It's not like Michigan State's a newcomer to the party. They've been at the party for a very long time. So a little bit confusing there. So that makes the Big Ten 3-0. And the next 2 games, one team fared well. The other one had to eke it out. And Minnesota and Rick Pitino, wow, they controlled this one from the start. A lot of people like Louisville, and I thought that Minnesota was the better team. I really like Jordan Morgan. I think that he is a very elite post player in the college game. I'm not sure necessarily if that translates over to the NBA, but again, I thought that the Gophers did a really good job of doing what they do best. Uncharacteristically, they canned a bunch of threes. They had their season average for threes by halftime, and I thought that the fact that Morgan can clog up people in the middle, and this is very, very similar to what the Wolverines did with Teskey. When you're able to establish that presence down low and you're getting easy buckets after easy buckets, that sags the defense in, therefore gives your shooters on the outside much better open looks, especially when you play in conference, all these teams know exactly what you're trying to do, so you have to execute perfectly. In the NCAA tournament, these teams don't necessarily know how you like to run and what style you like to go with. Therefore, I think things become a little bit easier, and I've said this all year long, the Big Ten is one of the best and deepest conferences in all the country. They just beat up on each other throughout the year, and that's why you didn't see very highly ranked teams at the end of the season, because the conference is so deep, they're just beating up on each other. And I think Minnesota is a product of that, obviously shown that they can win a game in the NCAA tournament from a 10 seed. So an 86-76 win for the Golden Gophers over the Louisville Cardinal. And then the last eker, Maryland, they had a hefty lead going into the about 5 minutes left, and the Belmont made a run and made it interesting at the end. I think that Maryland, their young team, I'm not quite sure if they understood what it takes to close out a game in the second half. I mean, yes, they were down 6 points at half. They came back, they rallied, they had a great second half, but they need to learn how to put the nail in the coffin. And unfortunately, they weren't able to do that. And it shouldn't have been as close as it was, but it was fairly close. But still, a win is a win. Survive and advance. That is the name of the game in the NCAA tournament. And wow, did the Big Ten do that yesterday? 5-0. Again, 5-0. It'll be a little bit tougher today, I think. I'm not quite sure that the Big Ten has a 3-0 day in them. The first game of the day is the first Big Ten game of the day as well. Iowa's going to take on 10-seeded Iowa, takes on number 7-seeded Cincinnati, the Bearcats. Then a little bit later in the afternoon, you're going to have the Buckeyes. Not in the afternoon. Really, really late. The Buckeyes are going to go against Iowa State. I think this one is an L for the conference as well. And then the third game, it's a mid-afternoon game. You've got the Badgers and the Ducks, the 5th-seeded Badgers. Are 2-point favorites, but the Ducks have been playing really, really good basketball. They're coming off of a conference tournament win, and a lot of people like the Ducks in this one. A lot of them do, and I wouldn't necessarily say that the Ducks are a shoo-in, but I'd love to see the Badgers kind of give it to them and show them that there's a good conference, because they've got an elite player in Ethan Happ on their side, and I think sometimes the elite players step up and rise to the occasion and are able to carry teams a little bit further into the tournament. So that was pretty much what you're looking at tournament-wise. One quick injury note, Jordan Murphy, who, again, for Minnesota, dominated, I thought, on the inside, which enabled them to shoot a bunch of wide-open threes. Throughout the game, his back was locking up, so he had some issues with that, but it seems like he's okay. He said after the game, it's like, there's no way that I wasn't going to play. Gotta love that out of the young man. It's tournament time. It's time to go, so I really like that as well. And then a couple teams this weekend playing some games in the NIT. You got Nebraska and Indiana still alive on that side. They'll get things going. And then one quick note for the Gridiron, CBS updated their NFL mock draft. There's added in trades in this one, so it's a little bit different. This one definitely has the Cardinals using that number 1 pick on Kyler Murray. They have them trading, although it doesn't matter much in the draft because we're not sure what kind of pick they would ultimately end up for Josh Rosen. But they've got them trading not trading, but taking Kyler Murray and trading Josh Rosen. So therefore, there is no need to go after what I think is the best player in the draft in Nick Bosa. So Bosa's going to slide to 2 to the 49ers, which I think they would be very, very happy about that. If that is the case. Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback for the Buckeyes, he slides down to 9. They have Miami, the Dolphins, trading up to get him. A few picks later, you have Michigan linebacker Devin Bush at 11 going to the Bearcats. Sorry. Whoa, wow. Cincinnati Bearcats. No, the Cincinnati Bengals. Got college basketball on my mind. 12, right after Bush, you've got TJ Hawkinson going to the Packers. 13, Rashawn Gary going to the Bills. And then rounding out the Big Ten flavor in the first round, you got Noah Fant. 26 going to the Patriots. And that's pretty much it for me this morning. I appreciate the listen. Give me a follow on the Twitter machines once again at MFC2123. Go ahead and give us a follow on the show page as well at 2 Cents Pods. Like us on Facebook. I hope that your brackets weren't broken yesterday. I know that a lot of people online were complaining about their brackets being broken already, but some of you must have made some better picks, and I hope that you have some good luck this weekend in the tournament. Have a great weekend, Big Ten fans.